Hello, and welcome to our channel. Today, we will be delving into a pivotal moment in American history, the Civil Rights Movement. This movement, which took place primarily in the 1950s and 1960s, was a crucial turning point in the fight for racial equality and social justice in the United States. We will be exploring the key figures and milestones that shaped this historic movement, shedding light on the courage and resilience of those who fought for civil rights. To truly understand the civil rights movement, we must first acknowledge the deeply entrenched system of segregation and discrimination that existed in America at the time. African Americans were systematically marginalized and oppressed, facing discrimination in education, employment, housing, and public accommodations. Jim Crow laws enforced racial segregation, further entrenching white supremacy and perpetuating inequality. One of the most iconic figures of the civil rights movement is Rosa Parks. In 1955, Parks, a seamstress and activist, refused to give up her seat to a white passenger on a Montgomery City bus. This act of civil disobedience sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, a pivotal moment in the fight against segregation. Led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., the boycott lasted for 381 days and ultimately led to the desegregation of public transportation in Montgomery. Another key milestone in the civil rights movement was the desegregation of schools. In 1957, the Little Rock Nine, a group of African American students, faced violent resistance when they attempted to integrate Central High School in Little Rock, Arkansas. Despite facing intense hostility and threats, the Little Rock Nine persevered, with the support of the NAACP and federal troops sent by President Eisenhower. Their bravery and resilience paved the way for school desegregation across the country. One of the most famous events of the civil rights movement was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom in 1963. Over 250,000 people gathered at the Lincoln Memorial to advocate for civil rights legislation and economic equality. It was at this historic event that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. delivered his iconic "I Have a Dream" speech, calling for an end to racism and envisioning a future of equality and justice for all Americans. The civil rights movement also included a series of freedom rides, where activists challenged segregated public transportation in the South. These nonviolent protests often faced violent resistance from white supremacists, highlighting the dangers and risks that civil rights activists faced in their quest for equality. The freedom rides brought national attention to the issue of segregation and paved the way for the Voting Rights Act of 1965, which aimed to combat discriminatory voting practices that disenfranchised African Americans. While Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was a prominent leader of the civil rights movement, there were other figures who advocated for a more militant approach to achieving racial equality. One of these figures was Malcolm X, a charismatic leader and outspoken proponent of Black nationalism. Malcolm X's message of self-defense and Black empowerment resonated with many African Americans who were frustrated by the slow progress of the civil rights movement. His influence gave rise to the Black Power movement, which emphasized cultural pride, political independence, and self-determination for African Americans. In 1965, civil rights activists organized the famous Selma to Montgomery March to protest the disenfranchisement of African American voters in Alabama. The march, led by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and other civil rights leaders, faced brutal repression from local law enforcement, including the infamous Bloody Sunday incident, where marchers were violently attacked on the Edmund Pettus Bridge. The footage of this violence shocked the nation and galvanized support for the Voting Rights Act, which was signed into law later that year, ensuring equal voting rights for all citizens. The civil rights movement left a lasting legacy on American society, paving the way for significant progress in the fight against racism and discrimination. The brave actions of key figures such as Rosa Parks, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Malcolm X inspired future generations to continue the fight for social justice and equality. While challenges remain in the ongoing struggle for civil rights, the courage and determination of those who fought for change during the civil rights movement serve as a powerful reminder of the importance of standing up for justice and equality. Thank you for joining us as we explored the key figures and milestones of the civil rights movement. This pivotal moment in American history continues to inspire and challenge us to confront the legacy of racism and injustice in our society. By learning about the courage and resilience of those who fought for civil rights, we can honor their legacy and continue the work of building a more just and equitable world for all. Stay tuned for more engaging content on our channel, and remember to always stand up for what is right. Thank you for watching.